Hello and welcome back to another out of spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. You joined me today in the detail booth with a car I didn't really expect to make a video on, but as I got thinking more and more about it, I was like, this needs to be a video and something that is shared. So what I'm talking about is paint color mismatch. And this is something I see very, very often, but this particular car seems to be quite bad. So I thought we should make a video on it. Anyways, let's jump into this and see what's going on. So this here is the vehicle in question, and this is a brand new, I'm talking extremely new, a 256 mile 2022 Ford Expedition Platinum. The Platinum trim taking this particular car to over $80,000. So when you get in that price range, you're playing with some pretty heavy hitters in the luxury market. Think the British cars, think German vehicles, lots of heavy hitters in that market. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. So this particular car, owned by a really good client of mine, came in for a full correction, polish, and ceramic coating. This paint has not been ceramic coated yet, but looking quite nice. So this is a really nice blue metallic, all polished out here, looking pretty freaking awesome. What I want to talk today about though is variation in panels, because I see this on almost every single car. Typically what I see is they're very slight, and those typically are the differences between plastic pieces like bumpers down here compared to quarter panels and hoods that are all metal. So just for your guys' knowledge, what typically happens on a vehicle production line, stuff like your hood, quarter panels, rear doors, rear quarter panel, all get painted at the same time, whereas areas like bumpers typically are sprayed at a different time than they have their marriage and come on. So you see slightly different hues in them. And that's not something that is that noticeable unless you have something like this, a SCANGRIP light, or you're outside and really, really hard looking. Now, this car's got some issues and let's talk about them. So first off, we're here in the detail bay. I've got all my lights really, really bright. What this does allows me to actually see defects, see dirt, grime, anything like that, pull those off of the vehicle, because that's what we're here to do. What they also do is show color variation. So let me tell you what was going on. So I'm down here in this area. I had actually already washed the whole car, dried it down, pulled it into the bay, started working on the paint correction around here. I'm sitting down here working on this door, and I look up and go, okay, are my eyes a little off, or is this just like a weird reflection? What's going on here? So I stand up and I go, okay, we've got some stuff going on here. So this panel here is plastic. This is metal. This is metal. This is metal. What the heck is going on with all these colors? So we've got really light blue here, a lighter blue, and I believe these to be slightly different as well. Different size metallic flake. We're going to jump into that with the SCANGRIP. So what I was thinking was, okay, this car definitely got something damaged here, right? Maybe this was nicked at the factory during inspection, something like that. Now, if you have a German car, so if you're buying, say, I don't know, let's just give, for instance, an Audi Q7. You buy the car, they ship it over here. It comes through the Houston port, they go through port inspection, and then disperse to all the dealers. Sometimes what can happen while they're moving these vehicles around, you may get a car backed into another one. They may get a little paint chip, gouge, or have to repaint a panel. During port, they actually do not have to disclose that to the end client, which is kind of frustrating, but that's a topic for a whole nother day. So my thought was, okay, this is a Ford, built in America. It's not going through the port. So maybe somebody caught something going on here and went, okay, we just need to replace this. So I'm thinking, okay, it's only on this side. Now, as I walk around here, I'm expecting to see really nicely matched panels. And as you can see, same exact thing going on. Dark, lighter, really crazy. I'm quite surprised. Now, this is something that I see not to this degree. I see slight variations between, something like bumpers to quarter panels or handles to doors or mirrors, whatever it may be. The plastic pieces typically have a little different metallic. I'm not exactly sure why that exactly is, but all manufacturers have this issue. To me, it seems like they could all be dang near the same, but not the case going on here. So let's jump into talking about the bumper now. Now, again, as I saw that, I started looking more and more. And while I was working down here, I saw this bumper and go, you gotta be kidding me. Like, that's not even sort of close. We've got a really dark kind of navy blue and a lighter pale blue down here. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of makes sense, but I've never really seen it this quite bad. I mean, that's bad enough, but this really doesn't look good because it's a huge piece here. What's interesting about this bumper, this little piece down here is actually separate from the top piece. Now, what's really, really crazy is we've got a few more plastic pieces up here. So this whole spoiler is plastic, whereas this is metal. What do you guys think about the color there? I think it looks pretty decent. So we've got a plastic panel up there, metal, and it looks pretty good. Now here on the back, we also have metal and plastic. But these, in my opinion, do look pretty good. Now they're slightly different as far as metallic, but something that most people, unless you're a weird detailer like myself, you're not gonna see, it's not gonna bother you. And in all honesty, this doesn't bother me at all, but this really does. So what I wanna do, let's get out the SCANGRIP here. And let me talk about this before you guys go crazy. Why do you need your little light here to show what's going on? What this does is mimics outside. It is actually dark right now, so I can't really show you the car outside. But what this allows me to do is basically mimic the sun. And the nice thing with these, I can move the sun anywhere I freaking want to. What happens with these is a lot of body shops actually use this for areas like this to specifically paint match panels to see the variation between them. You notice the doors here look pretty darn good. I still believe this panel to be slightly different, but let's just jump in here and look at this. So we've got really pretty navy blue metallic. You can see lots of greens, purples, blue metallic, even a little bit of gold in here. Now as I come over here, not even close to the same color. You can actually see the metallic size on this panel here is quite a bit smaller than over here. And that's typically what I see on bumpers and quarter panels is you get slight variations there between them. And that's why it shows like that. So you typically have some, say, really thick metallic flake up here on a quarter and a little smaller here. But again, we have the same thing going on here. We have really dark and then really, really different colors. So it's not only the metallic flake, but actually the colors here. Maybe we go in this area and you can kind of see it. It's just really, really far off, and that is quite disappointing. Now, back here, we've also got some other areas that are plastic as well that really show off how different these are. So this little handle here is a plastic piece, and look at the difference between the coloring there. Now, are you gonna see this particular one? I don't think so, but that side piece just looks so bad. Let me zoom in here so you guys can actually see how different that is. It is physically a different color. So Ford, what the heck is going on with your paint booth? This is just kind of crazy at this point. So just sitting here and once you see the site, you just can't unsee it. The color variation here is just, it's almost laughable. I keep going through my mind, how does this leave quality control? You know, I've crafted this detail bay with the kind of hoop lighting, if you will, here to mimic, you know, what manufacturers have when they go through quality control so they can pick out stuff like this. And it blows my mind that an $80,000+ SUV leaves the facility like this. You know, again, I've seen stuff to where there's slight variations, but I've never seen anything like this on a brand new car. It makes me think something's happened to it, but I don't see any reports of damage. Anything that I could tell looks off. What's really weird here is this gas filler cap here, plastic. This is metal. What the heck? How is that any different? I just don't understand that. Now, this area here, I don't think this is something you're going to see every single day. You're going to see it at certain hours of the day when the sun's at, you know, maybe a low position or whatever. But areas like that, you're going to see all the time. And it's really interesting, actually, that I'm looking at it here. These look very similar until you pop up here and then it's just like Whoa, very, very different. And again, look at that color difference just going on there. Just insane to me. Very, very common what I see here is like slight variations. I'm not going to really talk about the horrible orange peel in that because, yeah, the gas cap looks horrible compared to the rest of the paint, but really quite interesting. You know, areas here like on the door handle, this is something I see. I think these are slightly off. This looks a little bit more teal to me than actually navy blue, but I think that's passable. Nothing that you're really going to, you know, it's not going to scream in your face, look at me, look at this. It's just really, yeah, quite bad. Now the front bumper here, the color difference here, dark, light. Now, if I pop my light in here as well, and as I move around, you can really see that it's totally different color, just insane to me. But I want to talk about another car here and just kind of compare between the two. So Tesla, if you guys know anything about Teslas, they have been bashed forever about build quality, paint, just mismatched panels, horrible, horrible build quality. Well, this is my personal Tesla Model 3. So this is a 2021 Model 3 dual motor, long range, finished in pearl white. What's interesting with pearl white is this particular paint has been kind of a struggle for Tesla to manufacture because it is a pearl effect. And pearl effect is very different from what we see on metallic. It's applied very differently. This paint is actually very thick on this car because we use multiple layers of pearl. I believe these are 4 or 5 layer paints. I don't exactly remember on Tesla, so I do apologize for that. But look at the colors here. Bang on the money. Really, really impressed. Again, $50,000, $80,000+, and a company that's been notorious for poor build quality. Now, as I move around my car here, not a lot of plastic as far as the exterior of the vehicle, besides the bumpers, the mirrors, the rear bumper. So really quite impressive. This mirror, bang on the money, looks absolutely perfect. But this car is actually not perfect. Let me bring you back here to the rear bumper. And I want to show you, this is typically what most cars look like. So my impression is this is a lot brighter white than the trunk lid and areas over here, like on the quarter panel. And this is really what I see on most cars. Now, what's really interesting is this car has actually oxidized differently in these areas. And I think that's why it's turned more colors. When this car was brand new, these were really, really close, like little variation, but over time you can definitely tell it's oxidizing a little bit different. You know, my car actually here has 16,000 miles, believe it or not. It looks insanely nice. But let me just bring my SCANGRIP light in here and show you. Now the color variation really doesn't look that different in that, but I will say there's definitely some variation going on here. You know, interesting thing like this over here, this is a solid black color, so no metallic, no pearl. And this car actually looks pretty good. Not going to touch on this, but this is a Model S Plaid, and very, very impressive on the paint on that as far as matching. But yeah, I just wanted to compare these because I often see in the comment section, you know, your Tesla is built horrible. Why would you buy one of those? My F-150 paint is absolutely perfect. Well, here's your F-150 in an SUV form. Gotta say, not very impressed with this particular one. I don't think this is a Ford wide thing. This is just one instance, and I hope if you're buying a new Expedition, you're not getting a car like this. But I just want to drive this point home. This is something that happens often. This one seems to be a little bit of an anomaly, but got to give it to Tesla on this one versus this particular Ford Expedition. Hope you guys enjoyed this, a little bit shorter video, and let me know what you want to see in the comments below. Also, let me know, what is your thoughts on this Expedition? Very curious to see what you guys think, but hope you guys enjoy this one. We'll see you in another out of spec detailing video very, very soon. Bye-bye.